Good morning, everyone.
Hope this is on. Yes, it's on. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Robbins Regional Chamber Aches and Issues. It's so great to see everyone here this morning. This is one of our premier events that almost every month we look forward to having and hosting this event. The connectivity that you see around the room, we just encourage you to take a moment, stop, have a conversation, share where you are, listen to where they are, and help us empower our community to press forward. My name is Jay Flesher. I'm with Flint Energies. I'm their Community and Economic Development Director. Unfortunately, I'm standing in this morning for our President and CEO, Jeremy Nims, who had to travel this morning. If you will, please keep him and his family in your prayers as they go through some situations in their family that no one wants to go through, but they all come at times, so they never wait on us. Speaking of a powerful series, which you see here, and we host every month, we're grateful for our series host, Emory Healthcare. As you saw the video, Emory Healthcare, Warren Robinson Perry. Without them, we would not be in this fine facility and be able to gather like this at this size of an event. And again, that's what makes this the most impactful for us. We would also like to thank another sponsor, a longtime sponsor, presenting sponsor, Synovus. Synovus has been a partner of ours in this event so very long. And you guys know that it always comes, when I say Synovus, always comes with something special. Well, today, the special is we have a stand in there as well because Ron's out in the room, right? So we were going down the Rolodex at Synovus and got down to the Y's, and he picked up the phone. So we'd like to get Mark Yarbrough to the stage to help us with our prayer and our pledge.
Everybody else answered the phone, but they were too busy. But no, thank you, and
thank you.
Hold it.
Hold it.
If I get everybody to stand up, we'll do a prayer. We bow your heads. Lord, thank you for this day and the wonderful weather in the springtime and everything with the renewed life about it. And as was mentioned earlier, there's a lot of people in this room, and friends of ours, and friends that we don't have yet that are going through things. We ask that you be with them and be with their families and provide your strength and healing hand around them. I want to thank you for all the leaders in this room. Not only are they leaders in our community, they're servant leaders as well. And we just ask for your blessing around everyone here and everyone we serve. We ask that the work that we do in this community, in this world, and for you beats the glory that you would like to see. And just ask that you bless us every single day. In your son's precious name, amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Some of that fine food was So that's why they started down at the Y. Well, as you can obviously tell, I am not Ron Weigel. And he regretted being here today. But I'm going to be brief because I was told last time I was not. And I talked to Jack Lester the other day, and he said, "You're doing it?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Man, short this thing up a little bit." So that is what I'm going to do.
You got a shot clock.
We have a much more important speaker today than myself, and we're really looking forward to seeing the really great works. We've seen the great works that are happening, hear about more things that are coming to the city of Warner Robins that impact all of us here and everyone in our community. So with that being said, Ron did offer up a couple of dad jokes if you'd like to hear them. And so, April, I do have glasses at work this time.
Thank you.
Instead of the ones that broke the last time. All right, here we go. This was, I have to say, Ron almost cried when he read this one to me, so take it for what it's worth. What's the difference between a well-dressed man on a unicycle and a poorly dressed man on a bicycle? Attire.
Oh.
All right, somebody I got one more for you then. Did you hear about the woman who fell in love with the ginger ale salesman? She
No.
was swept off her feet. Thank you for everything that everybody does. Again, we are so pleased and proud to be a sponsor of this and look forward to doing it for many, many more years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Mark, I noticed that it was all highlighted in red. Was that so you could delete it after the fact?
Look, listen, I'm getting so old, my eyes, I have to have it highlighted so I can read it.
Well, as we continue to thank our sponsors as we lead into our conversations this morning, we have a sponsor that is a session sponsor. Keeping your workforce on the job matters. It's driving productivity, stability, and growth. That is why having a trusted local partner for testing and work-related injury support is so important. Today's session is proudly sponsored by Hometown Occupational Medicine. Their team works every day to help employers stay compliant, respond quickly to workplace injuries, and keep teams healthy and moving forward. Brianna, please come to the stage. Brianna Bassett.
Is a one-stop shop for employer-related health services. We focus exclusively on occupational medicine and employee health, striving to protect and enhance the health, safety, and productivity of your employees and organization. We offer a variety of services specifically designed for your company's needs. Through our memberships in local communities, such as the Robbins Regional Chamber, Hometown Occupational Medicine hopes to bolster partnerships and make an impact. Hometown Occupational Medicine, where your employees' health matters to us.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning. I'm Brianna Bassett with Hometown Occupational Medicine, and we're honored to be the session sponsor for today's Eggs and Issues, supporting the city of Warner Robins, not just as a sponsor, but as one of our valued partners. At Hometown Occupational Medicine, we're employer focused. While we aren't a traditional urgent care, we are an urgent care designed specifically for you and your employees. That means when someone gets hurt on the job, needs a DOT physical, drug testing, audiograms, or any other occupational health services, we understand the urgency from the employer's perspective. Our goal is simple: to treat your employees quickly, with compassion, and get them safely back to work while keeping you informed every step of the way. We're proud to partner with the city of Warner Robins in supporting the workforce that keeps this community running. And to the other business leaders here, we would love the opportunity to serve you and your team the same way. Thank you again for being here this morning.
Thank you, Brianna. Again, it's very important that our partners, like Brennan and her group, come together and allow us, that partnership allows us to be here and be in this mode of connectivity going forward. So I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, around the city of Warner Robins, there's tremendous momentum going on. Plans that have been made many years ago are coming to fruition. A lot of that takes leadership and guidance. And hopefully this morning we want to express where we're going, how we're getting there, and what it means to your business and the impact that's coming from out of that. You know, from Commercial Circle, buildings coming down, historically coming down. That was a big lift from our community to get that done. But the partners business partners and community partners that come together to make that happen, so very important today. So with that said, without any further ado, we would like to have the conversation, and hopefully the conversation that leads more to impactful movement in our community. So we would like to invite our guest up to the stage. Please help me welcome Mayor of Warner Robins, LaRhonda Patrick. So before we get started, I'm gonna have a point of order here before we get started. Mayor, please indulge me for just a second. Today is a very important person's birthday today. I remember when you came to town.
Sorry.
And the work that you've done since then. So on behalf of your birthday being on an Eggs and Issues Day, I've gotten another friend to help kick us off on happy birthday.
Okay.
Bruce, would you mind kicking us off on happy birthday?
Let's everybody stand for Miss April. Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear April. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I wish all of y'all sang as good as Bruce, but I'll take it. So, good morning. I want to take a point of privilege as well and just tell you what an honor it is to serve in this role and to be part of, as Jay said, the exciting momentum that's happening here in our city, across our region, and throughout our state. It truly is an honor. But the thing I wanted to mention is part of that is because of the depth we have in our bench. This morning we had a sub for Jeremy, and we had a sub for Ron, which I ain't mad, we had a sub for Ron. Just saying. But Jeremy is also a past chairman, Jay is also a past chairman of the chamber. He was part of the search committee when they hired me here 11 years ago. And I shared this with our state legislators who we had the opportunity to host on Tuesday, that the legacy of leadership and the depth of our bench, both in the past and in the future, is what is the secret sauce to making this community what it is, to moving the vision and the powerful ideas forward. And that is every one of you in this room and those that you surround yourself with. So give yourselves applause for that deep bench that we've got here and the legacy of leadership that we continue to build. So with that said, Mayor, we're excited to be here. Thank you for joining me today. And I know you've got some folks you want to recognize as well, so we'll get started.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So good to see your faces once again and to be here with the Chamber for another Eggs and Issues for the city of Warner Robins. We do have the Warner Robins team here today, at least some of us. So all of my teammates, will you please just stand so that we can all see your beautiful smiles. I know I saw two mayors in here. I saw Mayor Evans and Mayor Walker. Thank you all for being great partners as we continue to advance our entire county. The others, they send their condolences for not being here, but I just wanted to shout out the ones that were physically present. Thank you for all that you do. With Warner Robins, we have a lot of great things going on, as you know. We're very vocal about the things happening in our community and the things that we are doing in the city government, but I can't do anything without having the team that I have. We have a wonderful team. They know their stuff, they get it done, and they move quickly, and I appreciate it. And even when we move quickly, we're doing it efficiently and effectively, and that's even more important. So I just want to say a good thank you to my team. I didn't get to hug all your necks, but they really are important. So Warner Robins, I'll say this at the beginning instead of at the end, we believe if you have a dream, we can give it wings. So take flight and reach your highest height. So thanks for having me here again, April.
Absolutely, always a pleasure. And Jay already kind of waded into our first topic. You know, today is all about what's happening, what's next, and the impact that it has for our business community. So we're going to walk through growth, investment, and how Warner Robins is positioning itself for the future, starting with Commercial Circle. That's one of the most talked about opportunities here. I know at the State of the City you shared that the RFP for the master developer is out. So what does that process look like from here, and what can we expect to see or learn about next?
Yes, we've come so far on our journey. Something I heard about when I was in middle school at Tabor Middle School here in Warner Robins, not long after my family PCS here from Lajesville, Azores, Portugal. I heard about this downtown idea and I never could find where it was. And I went through my education. I understood it was Commercial Circle, but we never went there to shop. So one of the main things I wanted was to actually give a downtown that concept I heard about as a young girl and bring it to fruition. We moved really quickly to get to the point where we are today, and we're happy to say that, you know, we made it to the step we need to be at, to find the master developer that's gonna put the investment inside of our community and build a downtown from the ground up. Owning more than 70% of the 12-acre tract is a significant accomplishment, and without that, it would have remained a concept.
So as far as next steps and what the community can expect, what does success for that area look like to you?
Success looks like buildings going up vertically. It looks like a space where we all can go and shop and hang out and bring our families and have that green space, go for our entertainment needs in the downtown. Success looks like having children playing safely in the green spaces, going to listen to some great music at the small amphitheater, going over to a newly renovated civic center, seeing some shows on the inside. It looks like children and adults riding bikes safely, not down Highway 96, which is dreadfully scary. But things like that, that's what it looks like, a place where the community comes together. I know Perry says that, but it's still very true. Our community will come together at our city center, and that's what success will look like.
I love it. So, regardless if you're in a commercial circle or, as you mentioned, you know, across our entire city, we're starting to see real visible momentum across Warner Robins, from pedestrian pathways on Pleasant Hill, which I joked with you, I get the opportunity to stop and see some mornings as the signs of our progress as they continue to work there, to broader infrastructure improvements happening across the city. How would you describe the city's current stage of growth?
Well, we're growing quickly, as we know. We just found out last week, the city of Warner Robins moved up to the 10th largest city in our state. As we know, Houston County has surpassed Macon-Bibb in population, so our whole area is booming, and that's a good thing. A lot of it's because of great partners like Robins Air Force Base. Thank you to Robins Air Force Base for always being a part of our community. We support you wholeheartedly. And to all of the men and women, veterans out here, thank you so much for your service and your sacrifice. So we're growing quickly, but we're doing it smart. We're getting our policies right as we grow, instead of letting a big issue come and then take care of it later.
Yep. Let's jump into that, because the city recently put a moratorium on vape shops and liquor stores. How is that shaping up? Is there an opportunity or anticipation of that being extended, or perhaps any other codes that need updating in order to match the smart growth that I know you want for the city?
One thing about our city government, my brothers from another mother, my counselor, they're not here, but if I'm here, they're here. If they're somewhere, I'm there too. We listen. We listen to our community. We want to hear from you. We use what you need to help us create the policies that support our community best. And that's where the moratorium came from. We listened to the parents who were concerned. We listened to the industry that was telling us we're being oversaturated in certain areas, and we wanted to be proactive in helping fix the issue instead of sitting in a place where we have our hands tied. That's going great. We get a lot of support from all the industries that have the moratorium. They say thank you for doing this. And that means a lot to know that they see it as a positive and not a negative. And it likely will be extended. We still have some more work to do when finalizing our policy. But if it is extended, it may be for a short period of time. We think we've gotten the solution. Mr. Drinker and the team's working really hard on some great policy to present. And I'm very proud of the progress for that. Council and I both.
Wonderful. So you already mentioned Robins Air Force Base, which is the major economic driver for our entire region. Let's talk about some other driving forces shaping our economy. So Emory Healthcare, we're sitting in their facility and they continue to expand their presence in our community. What impact are you already seeing from that growth?
Great things. Our citizens are loving the transition. I was just meeting with Colonel Hemphill. Not sure if he's here today, but I do see another one of our leaders here, Colonel Bonnie, I call her. here, thank you for being here. Emory is great for our community, and as I was sharing yesterday with Colonel Hemphill, I understand from just different meetings that I'm in concerning Robins Air Force Base, how impactful it is to have a specialty care here in our community without having our service members have to go up to Atlanta all the time for certain procedures. They can do it right here at home. I'm so happy to see Emory here helping to save our healthcare system, and they have gotten really in with the community. They want to be a part. They want to feel a part. They want to participate, and they've really led by example when it comes to that.
Yeah, and I'll just have to give a quick shout out. They were actually hosting a health fair here yesterday when we came to set up, and there were at least 150 senior members of our community in here line dancing and doing Zumba, if you will. They had a mobile unit from Emory out of Atlanta providing prostate exams in the parking lot. They had partners from Georgia College and State University here providing A1C and cholesterol checks and things like that, all free of charge. And in speaking with the leadership that was here from Atlanta, they want to do even more of that. So it truly is exciting. Let's shift gears. We always love to hear about industry and talk about some of the momentum at the industrial park and job creation.
So the Robins International Industrial Park is in the Peach County portion of Warner Robins. Some still don't realize we are in 2 counties now, and we have a lot of potential for continued growth in Peach County, and we're really excited. We have a really great, strong working relationship with Peach County government. Is anyone from Peach County government here today? See, they're getting into the community more since we're a part of it, and we're getting more into their community since we're all a family now. But great things coming. We just had Keomac open. Of course, you've seen Pratt. You already know about Local Bounty, and we have even more to come. So working with the partnership with Peach County has been wonderful. The Joint Development Authority has been really busy and motivated to get some real things done and impact both of our communities positively.
Wonderful. So with all of this growth, it obviously brings opportunity while putting pressure on housing. So how would you describe the current state of housing in Warner Robins?
Housing, we need more housing. We need more housing not to take up space, but to increase the quality of life. There are many individuals who cannot afford a mortgage that costs $350,000 and up. I think that may be the starting point. I'm seeing some of the 200s. I try to stay tuned to what the housing market looks like because it helps us when we're working with developers on what kind of stock we need in our community to really resolve the issue. Giving Robins Air Force Base as another example. Speaking with Colonel Hemphill, I spoke with General Hammerstead, I spoke with Colonel Droz when she was here, and Colonel Reese. Housing is always on the list for Robins Air Force Base. For those airmen who are not living in the barracks, 90% of the housing that Robins needs has to come from the community. But we talk about the struggles in those individuals finding housing, having to find a roommate and bunk up with them just so they can make ends meet. Having a young family having to do the same. 2 families living in a house and they're supporting our country every day. That's why you're seeing apartments come up. It's only necessary, that's why you see it. And the vacancy rates are low in those apartments for most of them. They mostly rent out pretty quickly. But Robins Air Force Base thanks us because that means their airmen don't have to travel across multiple cities to get to work every day. It means their families can go to the best school system in our state and many other things. So when you see those apartments come up, just think about that airman who is only here for 2 years, who may just be getting out of their parents' home, who cannot buy a house because they can't afford it, and they also don't have enough credit to get it. So you see these coming up. We're seeing more and more single-family homes come up now, which we really are pushing. We're pushing home ownership programs to encourage more people to see that, yes, you too can own a home and a piece of the American dream. So we're really excited about the shift you're going to see in housing when it comes to single-family homes being more dense. Sometimes that's a bad word in Houston County, but it's a great word for the current generations that are coming up, and I support it.
So if you had to pinpoint, what would you say is the biggest gap currently in our housing market as it relates to our workforce needs?
the biggest gap is the affordability. I mean, our rents are starting at $1,100 if you're lucky, and some people don't even take that home in one paycheck. People are living paycheck to paycheck with less in reserve at the end of the month. And I know that personally because I have staff members. We have almost 700 who complain about that. You know, we're looking like, where am I going to live? How am I going to feed my family? How am I going to pay for our medical expenses? These are all real issues. So the gap is the affordability concept. How much do people actually take home, and how much can they actually afford for a place to live?
Shifting gears pretty significantly, I know you and I talked about the importance of addressing public safety and how that impacts both quality of life and economic growth. Can you give us an update on the trends that you're seeing as it relates to crime data right now?
So the trends we're seeing with crime data, and I know Chief is out here, so Chief, if I say something that's not the current report, correct me, yeah. So, per what we saw last, the only area where we were seeing an increase in crime was primarily in our youth. And that crime we're seeing would be, you know, children breaking into cars or doing some misdemeanor type issues, but no major growth in crime. All of our data shows that crime is actually declining, and even more importantly to me, we're getting less calls about crime inside of our city. So that's a plus. And I attribute a lot of it to having a boost in our officers. You know, we grew significantly when it came, from when I first came into now, to being staffed up to where we are. That's more vehicles on the street. That's more eyes on our children, eyes in our community. And then we also have our system we have, our camera system, that helps deter crime. And even Georgia Tech backs that up with their analysis of our program. So it takes a group effort, it takes a community to make sure that our community is safe. So I feel like it's working.
Very good. I know in speaking to Chief Wright recently, there's been some positive updates as it relates to response time for first responders. Can you give us an update on that currently, and how you see that evolving or keeping up with the growth in our community?
Yes, so for response times, Emory has come in, hitting the ground running, making some tremendous impact when it comes to response time. Per the last meeting I had with Chief Wright, he was also here, oh, there he is in the back. I said he was here.
You had seen him, yeah.
Yeah, he shared just how significant it is in the wait times decreasing, and how our first responders, we have a whole table of our first responders here for the city of Warner Robins who do phenomenal work in helping save lives and rescue at the same time. Those response times are down significantly, which really does help save lives. We also have a program where we're getting our certifications for all firemen, and also working with Emory so that our firemen can actually render aid on the scene instead of just being held to waiting for a bus to come. So great collaboration when it comes between Emory and Warner Robins for the benefit for our entire community.
Very good. What should businesses know about the city's ongoing investment in public safety?
Businesses should know that we have a safe community, and there's always room to improve safety. So you can be confident in knowing that mayor, council, directors, staff are working together to find gaps if there are any, but we need your help. If there's an issue impacting your business, let us know. When I first got in, I heard a lot about businesses complaining about the homeless issue, the debris that's left in front of their businesses or behind it, them getting citations, not feeling safe to go to their vehicles if it's dark, these type of things. And we moved quickly to try to address homelessness in that way, to get them off the streets through our coalition. Getting them off the streets through our coalition that started back in 2022 has been impactful when it comes to the homeless population. Many of them, since we started, we have over 50 who have been rehoused, who have had their lives transformed through the Homelessness Coalition. Even though our building right now is only a warming and cooling shelter, as we just opened last year, we're getting all this stuff ironed out to do it the right way the first time. You don't have to have a building for the coalition to work, and that's a partnership by many organizations inside of our community, and we're so happy about the progress of that.
Wonderful. Speaking of the building, do you want to share just a little bit about Haven Hope House and the efforts that are underway there?
Yeah, so Haven Hope House, as many of you know, is a homeless shelter that was birthed out of my first term in office. It was a passion project. At first, I talked about homelessness, and we moved full speed ahead, buying a building my second year, renovating it the third year, opening it the fourth year. So it's been moving quickly, and it is there. We partner with the Assembly when it comes to running the facility. We're doing this homeless shelter is a homeless shelter that the community built. We don't have to have a budget of over $1 million a year, as most would, to run it. We have such great partnerships here with Middle Flint, First Primary Health Care, Department of Behavioral Health, Volunteers of America, Purdue Farms, and the list goes on. That's going to make sure that shelter functions properly without costing us money. Many of these organizations receive funding for the homeless population, not because they're homeless, but because of the thing that made them homeless. And that's true. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel, and us cover the medical care, the therapy, and all the things that's needed for them to transform their lives. We partner in our community to make it happen. And Department of Behavioral Health actually told me in a meeting last year that they've never seen a homeless shelter that's going to operate the way that we are doing it. And they said more communities need to do it this way because the burden is much less heavy if we pull it together.
Very good. So we've also seen movement around redevelopment and reorganizations of some boards. Can you share what changes have been made to strengthen redevelopment efforts in Warner Robins?
Yeah, so redevelopment is the thing that makes me smile the most outside of my son, seeing my son every day. I am so excited about redeveloping the downtown district, which encompasses more than just Commercial Circle. When I tell you all, it's gonna really shift how our community feels. It really, really will. And we can't do it without a strong team for our development authorities. So we dug deep, we reconfigured what our development authority needed as far as the expertise, those individuals coming to the table, collaborating with skin in the game to tell us what will make your business more successful, what will make your family have a higher quality of life. And we have shifted some of our board memberships with that goal of bringing together a strategic approach to redeveloping our downtown of individuals that are truly vested in its success.
So with that strategic focus shift, where should the business community expect to see progress next in that effort?
The business community will see it, let's see, can you ask me that a different way?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of perhaps the footprint of the redevelopment effort, you said it extends beyond Commercial Circle, but what does that look like? Can you give us some geographic bounds and perhaps if there are any projects on the horizon that you can share?
Yes, thank you. Yes, so the boundaries for our downtown district is gonna be from Pleasant Hill all the way to 247, which is Front Street, Armed Forces Boulevard, and Martin Luther King Boulevard, MLK, right behind Robbins Financial Credit Union. I see them in the building too, all the way over to Green Street. Inside of there, you're gonna see more investment to make sure businesses want to move there. You're gonna see the atmosphere that a lot of small businesses thrive on, which is increased foot traffic, a space where mom and pop shops are encouraged and needed, giving them their space where they can thrive and people can come in and be exposed to their product without having to Google, find where they are, make a special trip to shop there. They'll have a lot of foot traffic passing by. They'll see something in the window, you'll go in and buy it. So you're gonna see a complete shift and what business community looks like inside of that district. And Robbins Regional Chamber is right in the middle of it. And they already look like a rose among thorns anyway, because the building is spectacular. But we're gonna try to catch up with them on those areas too.
Appreciate that. So as most of you know, we just finished the legislative session, and we will actually be hosting them next month. So if you have any burning questions for legislators, please fill my inbox, because I'm excited to host all of them at our last supper table like we did last year, to hear about the excitement under the Gold Dome this year. So from the city's perspective, what outcomes from the session are most relevant for Warner Robins?
Oh, that question. Well, I join with my peers across the state when I tell you, we were quite nervous this session. If you run a municipality, if anyone runs, they were nervous, okay? The thought of losing some revenue that would support services that our community depends on is something that'll make anyone lose sleep, me included. But the good thing about it is, we came together, we rallied against certain things that are negatively impact every single community inside of our city, and we came out strong. So that was the main thing, removing the property taxes. I'm a taxpayer, I'm a constituent, just like all of you. I live here, I'm a resident, I pay my taxes on 2 properties, and I'm always glad to do so. I really am, actually, because that means I own it and not renting. But I would love not to pay my taxes. I would love not to pay my electric bill, my car note, my student loans, utilities. I don't want to pay anything. But guess what? If I don't, bad things happen. I know that it's needed. I know we have to. So we just want a means to make the things happen that we rely upon. The worst thing anyone can think of is I have to lay off my team. No one wants to lay off a team member. So that's the main thing that caused me some remorse this session, and not just me, across our state. So we're happy we came out, not having to worry about that at this moment. I think it's gonna come, but hopefully it's gonna be a joint effort where they're talking to those leaders who have to make it work every single year, so that we can come up with a great solution to make sure all of our cities still thrive. We have all the services we expect, and not have to worry about having to lay people off.
Yeah, so, and that leads into my next question about knowing that many of the topics addressed in this session will likely be presented in the future. What is the city watching closely as we move forward?
Property taxes. We're watching property taxes like a hawk. That's the main thing, honestly. That really does jeopardize many agendas for any municipality at this moment. We are watching it, but we're also engaging. We're engaging with our delegation. We're engaging with the state individuals who run our state. We know it's an election year. As soon as the decisions are made, we got to start all over again probably, and get the relationships going again, so that we have a seat at the table. So there you go.
Okay. And I think the significance there, Mayor, and correct me if I'm wrong, is really when you're looking at a funding model that's been in place for so long. Perhaps some unintended consequences of shifting that burden to something else, and having an opportunity for there to be a collaborative approach about how to best move forward. Is that sort of sum it up?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. And so let's talk about community impact and innovation. For those who may be less familiar, what is the vision behind the Eno Lab, and how does it support innovation and entrepreneurship locally?
Well, the Eno Lab is another bright spot in my first term. It's a concept that I birthed, literally I birthed it. It is my baby. I had to do a lot of convincing of council to make this thing a reality, and we have not regretted any step of the way. The collaboration with Apple and Ed Farm has been phenomenal. We have an individual who works there, Miss Chelsea, she's here. She's employed by Ed Farm. She works at the Eno Lab. The Eno Lab is that city-owned STEAM lab that's built for the smallest toddler up to the most elder member of our community. And it has been great. We started off a little bit slow when it came to finding the person to run the facility who knows how to work every piece of equipment in there, from the robotics, the coding, the AR/VR, the music engineering, the podcasting equipment, the drones. It's a lot of stuff, but it's ours. It's our stuff, and we got it through a grant. So we own it, we love our space. It expands our parks and recreational offerings so that we're not just going to the North Houston Sports Complex for athletics. We can actually go there and stimulate our mind, you know, plant seeds in our children who can come back home when they graduate, get their education, and get these engineering and technology jobs, because we know that's the future. And if our children don't have it, they're not exposed to it, then we're not setting them up for success when it comes to really getting a career inside of the industry that needs them most.
So the ENA Lab really represents an expansion of what we all traditionally know as our Parks and Recreation services housed in the North Houston Sports Complex. That building alone was a monumental shift and improvement for our Parks and Rec department, along with other strategic improvements and consolidations. Can you share a little bit about what that building represents in terms of increased activity and exposure, things we're able to host here in the city of Warner Robins, and maybe an update on some of the parks as well?
So the North Houston Sports Complex, which came from the previous administration through a SPLOST project, most of my council was here when that building came up, so that's their baby. And I just, you know, acted like it's my godchild. I love it just as much, even though it didn't come from me, but in loving it, you also enhance it. When it comes to that space, that is our start with recreational tourism. Recreational tourism is something that council is pushing, they've been pushing it, and we're finding out our answer to make sure recreational tourism does not pass by Warner Robins on the way to Atlanta or South Georgia or Florida. We have great athletes here in our community. We have a great place, great hotels, restaurants, small businesses, etc. We want the tourism here in our community, right off of 75, so that we can get all those tours, for the volleyball tournaments, the soccer, the baseball, the softball, the list goes on. So that's what that building means. It's off to a really great start. We're going to enhance some things when it comes to our fields and look for more opportunities to get more fields inside of our city limits. For the parks, we are also renovating that. We love baseball, we love softball inside of our community as well as other sports, but the main space, which I always try to put Perkins in the name, Simpson Peavy. The Simpson Peavy Park is going to get a major renovation. That's where our youth play their sports, their softball and baseball in the city of Warner Robins. So we're putting in some money that's left over from our SPLOST to renovate that, get us some new fields, some new equipment, something that parents and children can be proud to play in during the season.
Perfect. And as you look ahead, what should our business community feel confident about in Warner Robins' future?
Our business community can feel confident that our future is bright. We are soaring, we are ascending, we are growing, and the innovative momentum is not ceasing. And that is the honest truth. But we also are big on community, we're big on engagement and collaboration. We want to hear from you. We want to get your ideas of how we can help increase your mission. A lot of missions we may share the same, some things we may not, but if it's something important to you, then it's important to us. So talk to us, let us know what you need. I see Sheriff Moulton over there. We have a great relationship with the Sheriff's Department as well. We can't do what we do without having a partner like the Houston County Sheriff's Department and Emory and Robbins Regional Chamber and Hometown Connection. All of these things make us thrive. So thank you for being a part of our community and being behind us. And just like you're behind us, we're also behind you.
Wonderful. And I know one way that the city continues to support that bright future is through your support of entrepreneurship. And on your tables, there's some information about Warner Robins Startup Week coming up. Can you share some highlights from that?
Yeah, so Startup Warner Robins starts next week. This is I think our third year doing Startup Warner Robins, and this is for the entrepreneur inside of you. Also for entrepreneurs who are already inside of their business, wanting to enhance it, wanting it to grow. Everyone cannot afford to get a consultant to help them get their business off the ground. They may not be able to afford someone to write their business plan or help them through it, or have someone tell them, how do I do my marketing? So that's what this is about. This is an investment inside of our community, so that our community can thrive. If you're an entrepreneur, you know someone who wants to be one, send them out to Startup Warner Robins. We do it every year, and it's been so impactful. We have individuals who just had a dream, and now they actually have a business, and they're connecting with Robins Regional Chamber. So you see how the circle goes, and some of them work for your businesses, but they also need a little extra to make their quality of life better. So Startup Warner Robins is great. We have a lot of people in this room who participate in that program, who have participated in that program with doing some instruction and some seminars. So we're very thankful for the success of this program.
Awesome. Well, we've got just a few minutes left. You have soared through my prepared questions. So is there anything else that you want to share with our group, or anything on the horizon that you want to spend a little time talking about before we conclude?
Oh, I do have one thing. So I went through first term, committed to getting everything I said I needed to accomplish done. If not done, the ball is rolling very positively down the hill. So now, second term, there are some things that I still want to accomplish that we didn't quite find that solution for the first term. One of those is transit. Transit is important. There's a fear sometimes when you talk about transit inside of a thriving community such as ours, but I'm here to report that for the state of Georgia, Houston County, every county around us, there may be the exception of one, has an option for transit. And the counties around us are smaller than us, except for Macon-Bibb, okay? So it was put on the radar by GDOT and Federal Highway Administration that transit should be on our agenda. And I sit on some of those boards, and I pushed to make sure it's on our agenda. And when it didn't go the way that I needed it to go, I found a way to do it through the city of Warner Robins. So we were looking for some on-demand shuttle services, transit. We see the buses. If you've ever seen Let's Ride, has anybody seen the Let's Ride shuttle? It'll say like Let's Ride Peach. I think we see Crawford in our community. I think we see Taylor. We have about 4 Let's Ride buses that come in our community, and those are on-demand shuttle services. And the fee for it is nominal, and it's very impactful for individuals, getting them to their doctor's appointments, getting them to work, getting them things that are essential, not just to hang out at the mall. So that is on the way. We are working hard with GDOT at the table, with Middle Georgia Regional Commission, to find a solution that will work well inside of our community, that'll take away the stigma and make everybody proud. Because I have an 86-year-old grandmother who moved here from Thomasville, Georgia in 2022, and she can't get around without someone picking her up. In Thomasville, she walked everywhere. She walked to work at the hospital for 40-something years, every day, rain, sleet, snow, whatever it is, she walked. Here, we're too spread out, she can't walk. She stays on her own. She can walk, but she can't walk to her destinations. She relies on my mother, her daughter, my dad, or myself to take her to and from. So when I tell you how the impact will be for her to do an on-demand, was to teach her how to do the on-demand, or go to Enolab and take a course on how to work her smartphone. These are things that can impact all of us in a positive way. So we're really excited about that.
And as we look ahead, what are you most excited about on the horizon?
I'm most excited about moving some dirt. We like to move dirt in Houston County and in Peach County. We love moving dirt. I want to move some dirt, see some of these structures come up, see some of these dense housing, these townhomes, these different structures, even on the Peach County side, all the new housing developments, single family homes for people to buy. I wanna see more people being able to own a home who thought it was out of reach. I'm excited to see what happens with our downtown when we finally award that master developer to do the plans and work with our local construction companies to build the downtown that'll be enjoyed for generations to come. There's so much to be excited for in the city of Warner Robins, and council and I are really, really proud of the progress that we've made as a team.
Mayor, thank you for spending your morning with us. Y'all please join me in giving her a round of